Deep within the rugged and majestic Caucasus Mountains lies a place of mystery and, honestly, ultimate adventure. It is a gateway to another world, a crack in the Earth's surface that plunges deeper than any other known place on our planet. This is the Veryovkina Cave, located in the remote Abkhazia region of Georgia. For explorers and scientists, this cave is the final frontier. It's not just a hole in the ground, it is a vertical maze that stretches down for an astonishing 2,212 meters. That's over 2 kilometers straight down. Imagine stacking 7 Eiffel Towers on top of one another and then climbing down them into total darkness. That gives you some idea of the sheer scale of this natural wonder. What makes Veryovkina truly unique is its incredible depth. It holds the world record as the deepest cave ever explored by humans. This isn't a gentle, sloping cavern you can stroll through. It's a series of vertical shafts, tight passages, and underground rivers that demand incredible skill and bravery to navigate. The entrance sits high in the mountains, at an altitude of over 2,285 meters. Reaching it is an expedition in itself, requiring a tough climb through remote, wild terrain. The air is thin, and the weather can be, well, harsh and unpredictable. This is a place that tests you before you even step foot inside the darkness. It is a challenge reserved for the most dedicated and prepared cavers on Earth. The journey into Veryovkina is not for the faint of heart. It is a descent into a world without sunlight, where the only light comes from the headlamps on your helmet. The temperature inside hovers just above freezing, a constant biting cold that seeps into your bones. Every surface is slick with moisture and mud, making each step treacherous. Explorers must rely completely on their equipment, their training, and most importantly, each other. Teamwork isn't just a good idea here, it is the only thing that ensures survival. This is an environment that is as alien and hostile as the surface of another planet, a place of profound silence and overwhelming darkness. The allure of Veryovkina is its raw, untamed nature. It is a place where every corner holds a new secret, and every descent pushes the limits of human endurance. For those who dare to enter, it offers a glimpse into the hidden geology of our world. It speaks of ancient water flows that carved these passages over millions of years. It is a living laboratory, full of strange life forms that have adapted to an existence without light. The explorers who come here are not just thrill seekers, they are scientists and pioneers, charting the unknown and bringing back knowledge from a place few will ever see. The cave is a terrifying but beautiful testament to the power of nature. Preparing for a descent into Veryovkina is like preparing for a mission to space. It is a massive logistical undertaking that can take months or even years of planning. Teams must gather an immense amount of specialized gear. We're talking about kilometers of static ropes, hundreds of metal carabiners and anchors, and heavy-duty harnesses. Each piece of equipment must be meticulously checked because a single failure deep underground could be catastrophic. They also pack waterproof bags filled with food, medical supplies, and lightweight camping gear. Everything must be carried down on their backs, a grueling task that adds to the physical strain of the expedition. The journey down is done in stages, much like climbing Mount Everest in reverse. The team doesn't just go from the top to the bottom in one go. Instead, they establish a series of underground camps at different depths. These camps are small, often just a dry ledge where a few tents can be pitched. They serve as vital rest stops where explorers can eat, sleep, and recover from the exhausting work of rigging ropes and descending deeper. Communication between the surface and the deep camps is maintained by a special cave radio system, a lifeline to the outside world. This methodical approach allows the team to manage their energy and acclimatize to the immense pressure and cold of the deep cave. Descending into the abyss is a slow and deliberate process. The primary method of travel is abseiling, or rappelling, down long stretches of rope. Cavers attach a descender device to the rope and control their speed as they lower themselves into the blackness below. Some of the vertical drops, known as pits or shafts, are hundreds of meters deep. It's a dizzying experience, hanging on a thin rope in a seemingly bottomless void. The only sounds are your own breathing and the gentle hum of the rope sliding through your gear. This is a mental challenge as much as a physical one, requiring intense focus and a complete trust in your equipment. As the team goes deeper, the cave changes. The passages might become incredibly narrow, forcing cavers to squeeze through tight spots known as squeezes. Other sections open into vast chambers, so large that the beams from their headlamps cannot reach the far walls. They might encounter underground rivers, which they must cross using ropes or inflatable boats. Every section presents a new puzzle to solve. The cavers work together, with the lead explorer rigging the next rope while others manage supplies. It is a slow, methodical dance of teamwork, skill, and sheer determination, moving deeper one rope length at a time into the heart of the mountain. The story of Veryovkina Cave is a modern epic of exploration, written by generations of determined cavers. The cave's entrance was first discovered back in 1968, but at the time, its true potential was unknown. Early explorers only managed to descend to a depth of about 115 meters. For years, it remained just another interesting cave in a region full of them. The sheer technical difficulty of its vertical shafts meant that significant progress was slow. It took the right combination of new technology, improved techniques, and incredibly brave individuals to start unlocking its secrets. The cave was waiting for its moment in history. The real push into the depths began in the 1980s, but it was in the 21st century that exploration truly accelerated. Teams from Moscow's Perovo-Speleo Club and the Perovo-Speleo team led the charge, returning year after year to push the boundaries. In 2015, they broke the 1,000-meter barrier. In 2017, they reached a stunning depth of 2,204 meters, officially making Veryovkina the deepest cave on Earth. Then, in 2018, another expedition managed to push even further, mapping a final underwater passage or siphon to reach the current record depth of 2,212 meters. This was a monumental achievement, the culmination of 50 years of relentless effort. To understand the immense depth of Veryovkina, let's compare it to something we all know. The Statue of Liberty in New York stands at about 93 meters tall. You would need to stack 24 statues of Liberty on top of each other to equal the depth of this single cave. It descends further into the earth than the height of the world's tallest skyscrapers. This is not just a cave, it is a vertical world hidden beneath our feet. Each new depth record set by the explorers was a step into a completely unknown realm, a place where no human had ever been before. They were literally drawing the map of a new world. The history of Veryovkina is a testament to human curiosity and the unyielding spirit of adventure. The names of the explorers who pushed its limits, people like Pavel Demidov and Oleg Parfenov, are legends in the caving community. Their expeditions were not just about breaking records. They were scientific missions that helped us understand the geology and hydrology of this massive mountain range. Each trip brought back new data, new photos, and new stories that inspired the next generation. The cave's history is still being written, as explorers continue to wonder what other secrets might lie hidden in its deepest, darkest corners. Life deep inside Veryovkina is a constant battle against the elements. The darkness is absolute. Without a headlamp, you cannot see your own hand in front of your face. This total blackness can be disorienting and, honestly, psychologically challenging. Explorers must carry multiple light sources and plenty of extra batteries because, well, light is life. The cold is another relentless enemy. The temperature remains a stable 4 to 7 degrees Celsius, and the high humidity makes it feel even colder. Cavers wear insulated undersuits beneath their tough, waterproof outer layers, but the damp chill is always there, waiting to sap their strength and warmth. The daily routine in the cave is physically grueling. Every movement requires effort. Climbing ropes, hauling gear, and navigating treacherous terrain burns thousands of calories. Food is carefully rationed and consists of high-energy, lightweight items that are easy to prepare. A hot meal is a massive morale booster after a long day of caving in the cold and wet. Sleep is often difficult. The constant drip of water, the hard ground, and the ever-present cold make for a challenging sleeping environment. The explorers' bodies are under immense physical stress, and getting enough rest is crucial for staying sharp and avoiding mistakes. Mud is everywhere. A thick, sticky clay covers many of the passages, clinging to boots, gear, and clothing. It makes everything heavy and slippery, increasing the risk of a fall. In some areas, cavers must crawl through tight passages filled with this cold, wet mud. It is uncomfortable and exhausting work. Then there are the vertical rope descents, which require skill and concentration. Each abseil can be a long drop into a black void, demanding complete trust in the anchors that have been drilled into the rock. It is a slow, methodical process, where one mistake could have deadly consequences. Despite these hardships, there is a strange beauty to this underground world. The headlamps reveal stunning rock formations, sculpted by water over millennia. There are vast chambers that feel like subterranean cathedrals and narrow canyons with walls of polished stone. The silence is profound, broken only by the sound of dripping water, a constant reminder of the natural forces that created this place. For the cavers, living in this environment is an exercise in mental fortitude. They must overcome fear, discomfort, and exhaustion, relying on their training and the camaraderie of their team to push forward into the unknown. In 2018, a team of explorers inside Veryovkina faced a nightmare scenario that demonstrated the cave's terrifying power. They were deep underground, near the bottom camp, when a massive flood pulse tore through the cave. Heavy rain on the surface had overwhelmed the mountain's drainage system, and a huge volume of water was funneled directly into the cave's entrance. This created a torrent that surged through the passages, turning them into violent, fast-flowing rivers. The water level in the lower sections rose with terrifying speed, trapping the explorers in the deepest parts of the cave. The team at the bottom camp heard a deafening roar approaching. Suddenly, water burst into their camp, which was normally a dry, safe area. They had only seconds to react. The force of the water was immense, capable of sweeping away people and equipment. They scrambled to higher ground, clinging to the rock walls as the floodwaters raged below them. Their camp, supplies, and some of their crucial climbing gear were washed away into a deeper, submerged passage. They were now stranded nearly 2 kilometers underground, with their exit route completely flooded and their resources dwindling. It was a life-threatening situation. Above them, another group of cavers was descending when the flood hit. They were caught in one of the vertical shafts as water began pouring down from above, turning the shaft into a powerful waterfall. Hanging on a rope in a freezing cascade of water is incredibly dangerous. It can lead to hypothermia within minutes and makes it nearly impossible to climb. With incredible strength and quick thinking, they managed to ascend the rope against the flow of water, pulling themselves to the safety of a higher ledge. Their escape was a testament to their physical fitness and mental resilience in the face of extreme danger. For the team trapped at the bottom, all they could do was wait. They found a relatively safe spot and hoped the water would recede. For more than a day, they were cut off from the rest of their team and the outside world. It was a tense and frightening wait in the cold and dark. Finally, the floodwaters began to drop. The team was able to assess their situation and begin the long, arduous climb out. They had to navigate passages that were now filled with debris and unstable mud. Their survival depended entirely on their teamwork, experience, and the sheer will to make it back to the surface. The escape from Veryovkina after the flood was an epic feat of endurance and teamwork. The journey out of a deep cave is always harder than the journey in because you are climbing up, fighting against gravity. The ascent requires using special devices called ascenders, or jumars, to pull yourself up the ropes, inch by inch. After the flood, this already exhausting task was made even more difficult. The ropes were caked in mud and grit, which could damage the gear. The cavers were physically and emotionally drained, but they knew they had to rely on each other to survive. The team worked together flawlessly. They helped each other through the most difficult sections, sharing the remaining food and offering words of encouragement. The sense of shared purpose was powerful. Each person knew their life depended on the person next to them. They climbed for hours on end, moving from one camp to the next, slowly making their way back toward the surface. The darkness was still absolute, but now it felt different. They were no longer descending into mystery, but climbing toward life and sunlight. The thought of seeing the sky again was a powerful motivator that kept them going. After days of relentless climbing, the lead caver finally saw a faint glimmer of light. It was the daylight from the entrance, a sight more beautiful than any treasure. One by one, the exhausted but triumphant explorers emerged from the mouth of the cave. They were covered in mud, shivering from the cold, but they were safe. Stepping back into the fresh mountain air and feeling the warmth of the sun on their faces was an overwhelmingly emotional moment. They had faced the worst the cave could throw at them, and had come out alive. Their harrowing experience became a legendary tale of survival in the caving world. Veryovkina Cave remains a place of ultimate challenge and profound wonder. It teaches us about the hidden workings of our planet and the incredible resilience of the human spirit. For explorers, it is more than just a record-breaking hole in the ground. It is a symbol of adventure and the quest for knowledge. The stories of those who have braved its depths inspire us to push our own limits and to appreciate the power and beauty of the natural world. The cave will continue to call to a new generation of adventurers, ready to descend into its depths and write the next chapter in its extraordinary history.